Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone.
Not everyone enjoys misery like you.
In misery? What, being a mom? God forbid I like my own child, sorry.
Walkie getting floored. Wake me anytime. Hello and welcome to another video. Don't forget to like and let's get right into it.
I need my woman in here to stand up. I need my woman in here to stand up, and I need my women to understand their rights.
Okay.
I have a right to health care.
Yeah, you do.
I have a right to make my body if I want to make my body. You hear me?
To make your body?
Yep, I got a body. If somebody want this body, they can get this body. If I want to have a baby, I have the baby. If I don't want the baby, I don't want the baby. You understand me? My body is my choice. My choice.
Yeah, it is your
My
choice. But your choice over your own body does not include the choice to poison, vacuum, or dismember a baby's body ever.
May I remind you that it's a zygote, ma'am?
Yes, and it's a
May
human
I remind
being.
you that?
It is a
May I also?
being. You can try to dehumanize.
May I
newborn
remind
children.
you that it's not a baby until it's born. I breathe life into my child, ma'am. I am one of the nature. I am one of the God. I'm one of Son. My baby is not born until that baby comes out of me. You hear me? I was born
that's what
preborn.
birth
I
is.
was born preborn by months.
For what?
I was born premature.
You're born premature, and I'm so glad you survived.
And if I died, would I be alive? No.
It wouldn't be.
Obviously,
it would be very
because I'm
sad.
ill, but you can't tell me that me dying would be my mama killing me because I was premature.
No, I'm not saying.
So just because I was born 2 months premature, does that mean that I'm not a baby, right? I'm not here, right?
No, that's the whole point of the pro-life position is that you were a baby from the moment of conception.
No,
You're arguing
exactly,
that it's not
but-
a baby. You're arguing that it's not a baby. I'm saying that it is a baby. I think you're
Exactly.
a little bit confused about what I'm supporting here. Maybe you're not actually pro-choice.
Can somebody sniff her cup real quick? I don't think she's trying to stay hydrated.
If we're going to have a true crackdown on illegal immigration in this country, it has to involve everybody who's participating in it. And I think you've raised a good point with this topic. And so employers and anyone else who's part of this pipeline, I think they ought to be put on notice.
And
you got to play by the rule. Everybody has to play by the rules.
I don't want to hear that they're doing work that no one else will do. Talk to guys in the building trades, plumbers, contractors.
I'm picking strawberries.
These building trades guys are being hurt
I can't
by
wait.
labor that shouldn't be here.
I can't wait until American women can't get blueberries for their smoothies. I cannot wait until there is a full crackdown on all small businesses, as if that's going to be the solution to the immigration problem.
So you want slaves?
President Trump has been president now for 50 days. What do you think about his job so far?
I have never been, even his first time in office, I am noticeably more anxious.
What are you specifically anxious about?
Well, I specifically am part of the LGBTQIA community, so just thinking about like my own rights, but also like so many of the close people that I have in my life are trans or in some way like identify on like a non-binary scale, and just having that community so directly attacked is scary, concerning.
You mentioned something about President Trump taking away the rights of individuals that are in the LGBTQ community. What are some rights that he's taking away from that community?
Well, just thinking about the
A big one that he signed was that trans women are no longer able to compete in women's sports.
Yeah.
A member of that community, what do you think about just in general that topic?
I do not want to speak for the trans community. I myself do not. I definitely identify figuring out my identity somewhere maybe like on the non-binary scale, but I do not completely identify like as a trans person.
Okay.
And so it's just not a topic that I think would really be appropriate for me.
The scary, concerning thing is asking you to legally stick to what you were born as.
Okay for us to ask for a fair playing field, though? Like, no. Well, we're trying to have a real conversation about ideas, right? We have different ideas, and I'm letting you talk, and I'm asking you questions. That's all.
So what do you think has been the benefit of Doge so far?
I think that America has the biggest, most expensive bureaucracy in the world, and it's riddled with corruption, waste, fraud, and abuse.
What waste, fraud, and abuse have you personally seen?
We've spent tens of millions of dollars on global DEI programs, inclusive language programs, transgender surgeries in Guatemala and South America.
Now we're going to even the playing field for white people? That's what we're doing? We're evening the playing field for white people.
What does race have to do with this at all, though?
If I go over home call your company? I know nothing about companies.
We're profitable. The federal government is not profitable, not even close.
Supposed to be profitable. You don't understand government.
You need an
We
ROI.
are to serve people. There is no corruption compared to the private sector. There is much less waste.
Do you work for the government?
I have not right now, but I have, and I've worked for the private sector, and I can tell you, you're wrong. Have you ever worked in the public sector?
I work in the private sector. People who work for the government work for the taxpayer. So we have a right to want to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse.
Ignorant. You are ignorant. You are not.
That's why I'm here asking questions today.
All of that, and they still couldn't make one point.
Are you just pretending to be stupid?
You haven't just have kids?
No.
Every time, so you're full of all that. It's the same thing.
No. Are you saying that off and abortion is the same thing?
Neither are we.
Are you just pretending to be stupid, or? No, I'm being serious.
I think y'all are.
You understand the difference between sperm and baby? That is a baby. What does fetus means?
If we're talking stupid, let's use actual.
What does fetus means?
Fetus?
Yeah. What does a fetus mean?
Fetus is a fetus.
A fetus.
That's the term.
Yeah, it's Latin for little child. Okay, so it means little child. Yeah. Google it. Look it up. What does fetus means? That's the etymology of the word fetus.
He isn't pretending. This is all natural.
You guys care about like DEI programs in Serbia?
Yes.
Hey, that's what he's trying to cut. I can't believe it.
In Serbia?
In Serbia.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like over $1 million for that.
Really?
Yeah, to make sure that their workplaces have diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
And
Wait a minute. Are you in Serbia?
In Serbia, yeah. And then there's a transgender musical in Ireland he tried to cut too. Yeah, I don't want to.
Wait a minute. We have 8 minutes.
Huh? Go ahead, quick.
No, they're clowning on us.
No, I'm not. I'm serious. I work for USAID.
That's all true.
It's all
For
true.
real?
Yeah.
How often are you out here?
Just today.
Just today?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we have to catch a bus. I was gonna fact check that and come back if you're telling me the truth.
Fact check it and come back. Swear to God.
At least UnWoke sees how ridiculous it is.
So if you looked out of your window and you saw your neighbor taking a bat to their toddler's head, would you have the same perspective as what you said to me just now? You don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
In that scenario where you saw your neighbors taking a baseball bat to their toddler's skull, would you say the same thing?
Yeah, it's not up to me. That's up to whoever.
You would just let them kill their toddler in their front yard?
Yeah, man, I'd let you kill this guy. I don't know him. I don't know that child. I don't know any of those people. It's their own thing.
That's really dark.
Yeah, but I mean, so is Matt.
No, I mean, I agree. I would say it's all murder.
Color me unsurprised.
Do you want to force rape victims to give birth to their rapist babies? I want a yes or no answer.
The question itself is phrased poorly because I'm not forcing, I want to allow. Because the only forcing that's going on in the abortion issue is abortion itself is a forced birth, which I addressed earlier. So yes, I do think that women should be required to allow the baby to live and be brought to birth, but I'm not forcing anything to happen. I'm just wanting to allow that to happen. There's no forcing involved. And so I think that the only forcing involved is the abortion industry that's forcing a baby to be killed. Does that make sense? But yes, I absolutely believe that no woman should be allowed to kill her baby under any circumstance, that we can offer better resources for women. But I appreciate you trying to make me sound bad.
These people act like they are going to be chained for 9 months in the name of the pro-life movement.
I don't believe you could step in my shoes as a black woman and relate and understand the things. So I feel like it's not fair for you to choose what I get to do with my life because I'm a black woman in a white society.
Well, what does being black have to do with truth?
Because there are different things that we experience,
Like what?
and my truth might not be your truth.
What, you get into college easier than I do?
What?
Affirmative action. Yes, you get jobs and internships that white kids don't get.
Oh, poor white people.
You have entire movements dedicated to your race.
We're so like, okay. Sir, do you remember the
Those movements are to get rights. You're crazy. Okay,
so do you not believe in racism?
Of course racism exists. The Democrat Party is still alive and well.
Do you think people are racist against white people?
All the time. All the time.
That's his definition.
Affirmative action is racism against white people. Yes.
Okay.
And Asians as well.
And Asians, that's right.
So I do have a question in that sense. If affirmative action is racism, why are most colleges predominantly white?
Why are they most predominantly white?
Why are most colleges, public colleges, are predominantly white?
We're a majority white country. You realize that, right? So colleges are the depiction of the nation.
Okay.
And actually, blacks on campus are disproportionate more than their population in certain areas, in certain campuses, than their population because of affirmative action.
In HBCUs? Is that
certain campuses.
Are you talking about HBCUs?
So, but let me just ask you.
Goldilocks over there is fighting hard to get a cookout invitation.
Any of you guys into so-called justice and loving your neighbor or anything like that? Or do you only love people like yourselves?
I don't love fools like you.
That's not even funny. Hey, all you did is say something before crossing a road. Don't be so scared. Come back and talk anytime, please.
They watch too many movies, honestly.
People are saying that Haley Steinfeld voted for Agent Orange, and I just don't know if it's true.
Who cares?
I don't know if it's true. The only thing that could possibly make it true is because she's engaged to Josh Allen.
Explain.
Only political account that he's following is the typical liberal, a right-wing, alt-right page.
He's also following DC Journal, but I shouldn't be trying to piss you off. And y'all really just be throwing alt-right out there. It's just people that disagree with you. One of her followers says anyone who dates a Trump supporter is a Trump supporter. This is her response.
I fear you are correct, because apparently Haley Steinfeld is very close to his family as well.
The absolute horror. Oh no, she's friends with her fiance's family.
For example, Josh Allen's mother follows RFK, James Woods, AC DeSantis, Kristi Noem, Lauren Boebert, Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, and yeah.
RFK's a Democrat.
I think I was just in denial, and apparently she used to be liberal-leaning, and then since dating Josh has become more conservative.
In denial? Why do you care what your favorite celebrity's political affiliation is? Also, she could very much still be a liberal or a left-leaning centrist. Lots of those are sick of the Democratic Party and voted for Trump this time around. Believe it or not, people don't have to be all in on one side or the other. What's funny is you're probably going to unfollow her and be a whole Haley Steinfeld hater because she might be a Trump supporter, and that's the behavior that made people turn away from the Democratic Party anyway. What you're doing right now is what potentially made Haley Steinfeld go to the right.
Wasn't on my 2025 bingo card, but I don't know why I continue to be surprised, so.
I don't know why I continue to still be surprised by people like you. Stay triggered, my friends.
It's all freedom and choices and rights until you're not on their side. Then it's fascism, racism, white supremacy, and all the phobias.
I think, too, it's really important, too, when we look at affordability and the spending, the Conservative Party's complete neglect of accepting climate change.
Yeah, Michelle, please do. Yeah.
Just back to Ms. Harrison's comment about conservatives and climate change. We didn't have a $400 million green slush fund. The Liberals did. This was an Auditor General report that violated ethics, that gave money to companies who did not spend the money on green energy projects that it was supposed to spend on. We have not hit one emission target under the Liberals. So if somebody doesn't believe in climate change, it's not the Conservatives, it's the Liberals.
Emma, do you want to respond to that at all?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Really? You're shutting up. That was so beautiful.
You guys are also upset at a system that I am upset with, that many people are very upset with, and...
Are you upset? We're not upset for the same reasons, though. I'm upset because I think that black people get preferential treatment. DEI, affirmative action. Carmelo Anthony was released on 75% reduced bond with $400,000 raised in his name. He killed his white classmate, stabbed him through the heart with a knife.
So here's the thing. You know that DEI is not about raising, like giving. Okay,
it prioritizes black people.
Let me speak, please. It was something that was a big deal and is a big deal because of the civil rights movement, and it's not taking anything away. It's raising standards, and I don't really want to get into DEI with you right now.
It's a violation of the Civil Rights Act and the 14th Amendment.
Yes, and what I more so want
And you
to
support
say,
that?
and I know who you are, and I know what you're doing. Answer is not antagonizing one another and hurting
I'm not
one
antagonizing people. I'm trying to have
Yep,
conversations.
That's what you're doing right now, and it just...
I'm trying to have conversations.
It's sad because
Trying to have conversations with people.
we are all looking for the same information, and
I'm just looking for conversations.
Looking for is not going to be found
Listen,
in
I'm not seeking anything. It's not a conspiracy theory. DEI happened. It's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. It's also a violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause.
I just wanted to say...
Do you agree that it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act?
Nope.
Does it or does it not prioritize black people?
Yeah, because they've never been prioritized.
So if you treat people differently based on their skin color, that is a violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, and you support that.
There are ways you can find your education, and conspiracies and MAGA.
Do you support
are
the Civil Rights
a
Act?
Way of
Do you support the Civil Rights Act?
yeah, and
How can you reconcile that?
and just be like level with you.
Well, you weren't having a conversation with me. You're condescending me.
You were interrupting me while I was speaking.
That's how conversations happen. You go back and forth.
I
You're
wasn't
condescending me.
done. Okay, goodbye, buddy.
Somebody transcribe her argument, please. I am very confused.
How do you think Trump's doing so far?
Not good.
Not good. Why not good?
I mean, I'm not really that involved with politics, but I know that he just canceled the education for the United States, right?
Well, there you have it, folks. Everyone is illiterate starting 2025.
Do you agree anybody should be able to serve in the military if they meet the standards?
Senator, as the president has stated, I don't disagree with the overturn of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Great, because I don't want you thinking, can't serve if you're a mom, can't serve if you're LGBTQ, and then last, can't serve if you're a leftist. The statements you said about people who have views differently than you, that we're the enemy, are you saying that 50% of the DOD, if they hold liberal views or leftist views or are Democrats, are not welcome in the military? Are you saying that?
Senator, I volunteered to deploy to Afghanistan under Democrat President Barack Obama. I also volunteered to guard the inauguration of Joe Biden, but was denied the opportunity to serve because I was identified as an extremist by my own unit for a Christian tattoo.
Now let's talk about discrimination.
I call myself and other women, not girls.
Refusing to yield to men when they're walking down the street.
When a man's getting aggressive, I hit him with I think you're reacting a little emotionally. Let's think a little more like me.
I like to ask my male colleagues during our meetings.
When someone talks about going to, I ask what she said.
A lot of sports, but when I do, I try to put on women's sports to help ratings and to lift women's media.
When a man says he is babysitting his children, I make sure to correct it to parents.
Whenever something needs moved and someone's like, let's let them in.
Imbalance of power. He built the franchise from nothing into the liberal career path. You want him to make frappuccinos too?
Klan, the KKK.
Well, the Klan was what we would call today a domestic terrorist group.
Why? Why would we call them domestic terrorist group?
Because they tried to use fear and force to change political environment.
And what was the motivation for the use of fear and force?
It was based on race and ethnicity.
Right. Are you aware of the perception of many about how the power and the discretion at ICE is being used to enforce the laws? And do you see any parallels?
I do not see any parallels between
I'm talking about perception.
Officers and agents.
I'm talking about perception.
I do not see a parallel between what is constitutionally mandated as it relates to enforcing the law.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
That puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm very specific about what I'm asking you. Are you aware of a perception?
Why am I just seeing this? She actually said this and went on to be vice president and even tried to be the president.
I started writing this song the day that an R-wordist was elected for the second time as president of the country I live in. I look down at my grocery cart, filled with Plan B books and names, placing bets on which one I'll use first to keep me safe. You prop your right hand on your heart to swear so solemnly, if it's your word against mine, they'll wipe your record. Oh, clean. Now I'm crying at my coffee shop, I break down at the gym, screaming at my windshield all the hurt that I held in. Nothing in this world could ever undo what you did. 'Cause I'm the living proof that when you weigh my choice, sentence me to silence, vilify my...
I was shocked when I saw this too.
I think both sides are very tribal.
Yeah.
But in terms of cult, at this moment in time, I think the left is more cult-like. I was in it for 20 years, what's known today as the woke left, but we used to call it social justice left, progressive left.
Known by conservatives as woke.
Right, but here are some of the characteristics that I think make it more cult-like than perhaps the conservative side. One is that if you had questions, you had to check your privilege, or there was always some line that they would use to get you to stop asking questions, just sort of cult-like. And then the other thing was there was this encouragement to separate from people who didn't agree with you. And so I slowly over time like whittled my world down to just people who were in the social justice left. And there was really, for people who left, which I did eventually, which was a long process, it's a bit like you become an apostate. You don't just leave or have different opinions. It's like once you leave, you can't come back.
Of course it's a cult.
I don't give a f. Just kill him. You have to. I'm not asking.
Are you mad? You seem really mad. That's kind of how I act when I'm driving. You don't want me on the road. Like right now, self-driving Tesla sounds amazing. Actually is. We went to go test drive them because we're gonna buy 2 of them. Yeah, the self-driving feature is like amazing. But yeah, that's how I act when I'm driving because I'm a very impatient driver. Like I don't have road rage. I definitely yell with the windows up, but I do a lot of yelling and a lot of cussing and a lot of swearing and mentally flipping people off.
See what I mean? Well, that is a wrap, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget those 3 buttons, and I'll see you in the next one.